You don't have to suffer to prove something was meaningful. You don't have to cling to decay to honor what once bloomed. And you don't have to stay in a place that no longer feeds you just because you planted roots there once. Some growth happens when you stay, but the most powerful growth often happens when you leave. The hardest part isn't the leaving, it's the moments after, when the silence creeps in and you wonder if you did the right thing. When your mind replays the good times louder than the bad. When your heart aches for what was, even when your soul knows what must be. That's not a sign you made a mistake. That's a sign you're human. A sign you cared deeply. A sign you had the courage to choose the unknown over the unbearable. What if instead of fearing endings, you saw them as sacred, as proof that you're still alive, that you're still capable of change, that you haven't allowed comfort to become your cage? What if endings were invitations to rest, to reflect, to rebuild, not punishments for loving wrong or not enough? When you stop needing something to last forever, you start valuing what it truly was, not the fantasy of it, not the projection, but the real, messy, temporary, beautiful moment of connection. The laughter, the growth, the lesson, and that's enough. It's more than enough. Because not everything good needs to become a forever thing to be life-changing. Think of the people you've met for a season who shaped you forever. The ones who saw you clearly for 5 minutes and reminded you of who you are. The conversations that only lasted a night but still echo in your decisions. The heartbreaks that cracked you open just enough to let the light in. They didn't last, but they mattered, and they matter still. You don't need to resent what ended, nor romanticize it. Let it stand as it was. Something that touched you, something that taught you, something that lived for a while, then died with dignity. Not everything is meant to be resurrected. Some things must be buried so you can grow in the space they once occupied. You may feel alone as you let go. You may think no one sees your quiet courage, but you are not alone. Countless others are doing the same, walking away from unfulfilling careers, shedding roles that kept them invisible, releasing relationships that masked their truth, mourning, healing, and rebuilding in silence. And slowly they are becoming new, not because they found something permanent, but because they stopped demanding permanence and started choosing presence. They don't need the moment to last forever anymore. They just need it to be real. And when it ends, they move on with grace. That's freedom. That's power. Don't wait for the world to give you permission to move on. Don't wait for the perfect closure or the ideal send-off. That may never come. Give yourself the closure. Be your own permission. Sometimes you leave not because the door is open, but because the room is too small for who you're becoming. And yes, people may not understand. They may call you selfish, dramatic, impulsive. Let them. They don't have to understand your evolution for it to be valid. They weren't built to carry your soul. Only you were. They don't have to see the path ahead. Only you do. It's a lonely kind of liberation to no longer need to prove yourself through suffering. But it's also the beginning of a life that is honest, spacious, peaceful. A life where you're not constantly negotiating your worth. A life where you're not walking on eggshells just to keep the peace. You were not born to be anyone's emotional anchor. You were not put here to preserve broken things for the sake of appearances. You were not designed to spend your life managing other people's discomfort while ignoring your own truth. You are allowed to outgrow what once fit. You are allowed to need something different. You are allowed to stop pretending it's enough when it's not. Let them misunderstand you. Let them misjudge your silence. Let them gossip and guess. You don't owe clarity to those who only valued you when you were convenient. Your peace is not up for debate. Your path is not a group decision. Not anymore. The longer you stay attached to what needs to be released, the more you delay the future that's waiting to be claimed. Your healing, your purpose, your peace, they're all on the other side of letting go. But they can't reach you while you're still wrapped in what's already dead. So mourn what you must, cry, scream, remember. But then wash your face, exhale, and keep walking. Because what comes next may not last forever either, but it might just be exactly what you need right now. And that's all life ever promised us. Right now, this moment, this breath, this chance. Don't waste it trying to stretch a memory into the future. Don't miss the sun today because you're still crying over yesterday's storm. Don't die slowly in something you've already outgrown. If it ended, let it end. If it hurt, let it teach you. If it mattered, let it shape you. But don't let it trap you. You were born for movement, for evolution, for becoming. You're allowed to rewrite your story even halfway through the book. Because if you're still alive, there's still time to change, to heal, to love again, trust again, rise again. Not because the pain didn't matter, but because you finally realized that nothing has to last forever for it to change your life. Sometimes the hardest part of walking away is not the act itself, but the guilt that follows. The voice that whispers, "Did you do enough? Did you try harder? Were you too quick to give up?" This guilt is a trap, a weight designed to keep you locked in patterns that no longer serve you. It's the ego's way of convincing you that staying means strength and leaving means weakness. But real strength is the courage to break free from cycles of pain and to seek what truly nourishes your soul. You are not responsible for the comfort of others at the expense of your own growth. You are not required to carry the burdens that others refuse to put down. Choosing yourself is not selfish, it is essential. It is the foundation upon which every other connection, every other success, every other joy is built. Remember that growth is not linear. There will be days when the past calls you back, when memories flood your mind and the temptation to return is strong. That's okay. Those feelings are part of healing, but do not let them make you forget how far you've come. Don't let nostalgia chain you to a story that no longer fits your life. Surround yourself with reminders of your strength. Keep journals, speak affirmations, celebrate the small victories, build rituals that honor your journey. You deserve a life that feels like a gift, not a burden. You deserve to walk freely without carrying invisible chains. When you release the need to explain, you reclaim your energy. You stop giving power to doubt and criticism. You step into a space of radical self-acceptance. And in that space, you find peace. A peace that no one can take from you because it doesn't depend on circumstances or others' opinions. Know that your worth is not measured by how long you stay, but by how true you are to yourself. You are worthy of love, respect, and happiness, even when you choose to walk away. In fact, choosing peace over pain is the greatest act of love you can offer yourself. So walk away without explanation. Walk away with dignity. Walk away knowing that the chapters closing in your life are simply making room for new beginnings. Your story is still being written, and every step forward is a declaration of your resilience and your right to live fully.